The mood is somber at the Elias Motsoaledi Stadium as the remains of some of the 16 people who died in a crash between a taxi and a truck in Leeuwfontein outside Groblersdal arrive. Families of the deceased, community members and politicians are attending the mass service. Some families are burying their loved ones separately while others held funerals during the week. Let's bring in SABC News reporter Mahlako Komane for more on the story. Mahlako, very good morning to you. So certainly a very somber mood there this morning. So do we know exactly how many people that were killed in the crash will be buried today?
Yes, good afternoon to you. Good morning, rather, to you. What we know is that at this particular funeral, which is at the Mahlako Stadium, there's about 7 families that have formed, have gotten together to constitute that mass funeral. Let me just step out of shot so you can see visually what I'm talking about. Right now, what they're doing, is that there's the reading of the obituaries that is taking place at this very moment. And what we also know is that there are 2 of the children that passed away here are en route. They've taken their remains to Zimbabwe. They are Zimbabwean nationals. So that is also happening. I think that funeral is sometime during this week, or once the families that part of, on that side of the border are able to organize a funeral service. We also know there were 4 families that I had heard that were decided were not going to be part of, the funeral service today. Those funerals are also currently underway in and around this Mahlako area. Those 4 funerals where families have decided that they've got their own rites of burial and passages and ceremonies that they needed to observe that does not include a mass funeral. So it's 7 here. And also there was one other person that was also buried during the course of this week. There's also, with obviously various families and the various customs that people follow, some bury faster than others. They don't observe that waiting for a week. Some, as soon as you can bury, you need to bury for whatever the belief is there. So that's the amount of people that, in terms of that number of 16 that are getting buried or have already been buried in this weekend.
Right, Mahlako, we understand that, mass funerals tend to be quite complex, especially where the planning aspect is concerned, as well as the logistics side is concerned. Take us through some of the planning there, as well as the logistics that were involved to bring this all together.
In terms of the logistics, quite correct, as we said, that funerals are quite a sensitive thing within the African culture, perhaps any other culture as well. Everybody has what they believe in terms of how they conduct funerals and they carry funerals. When I spoke to the local chief earlier on, he had said that a lot of families, some are beginning to accept what has happened, others still struggling with that. In terms of the logistics, it's these 7 families, the Muhlala family, the Nyalungu family, that has agreed to, this is what some of the families, I'm just counting the surnames there, in terms of the families that have decided to be part of, the burial. There is also the Mabena family as well. The Mabena family, the Nkadimeng family is also part of this Muhlala family. I think Nyalungu is another family. Murola family also, to some of those that passed away that are part of this, they having agreed. But what I understand is that 4 of these bodies here will be taken to one cemetery. Others, in this particular area, because maybe let me just give context, other families still burying within the yard. So in the other 3, they are going to be buried somewhere else. But 4 of these children here, we are going to go to one cemetery. They will be going to one cemetery. So quite correct. It takes quite a lot of logistics to bring people together and to agree, especially when it's not, one family where the observation of those cultural rites are not the same. But we also heard, Mxolisi as well, talking about logistics. We also did hear, the acting premier for the day who is here, MEC Sekwati, and he was speaking on behalf of Premier Zilma Tabata, saying that they are going to allocate some monies in terms of, the roads here. He is with the Provincial Treasury talking about monies that they were going to allocate just to ensure that, they are able to upgrade that the infrastructure in terms of the roads around here. I mean, you'd remember, when we did have that special feature on potholes and the state of roads, as the SABC, we also, the contributions that you saw in terms of the types of roads that you have in various parts of this province. So there are plans, but maybe let me bring in MEC Sekwati and speak to him on that particular issue of the monies that they will be allocating to the budget, rather, that they will be allocating to the roads. MEC, thank you so much for speaking to us. Are you able to give me an idea of, I heard you on the podium, giving condolences to the family, but also speaking that there are plans in the pipeline as a province to ensure that, we try and do something about the state of roads in this particular part of the country?
Yes, as a provincial government, we have for this new financial year allocated some finances for us to be able to make sure that we maintain the road infrastructure, but also to upgrade from gravel to tar some of the roads in the province. But what we're going to make sure is to make sure that all the roads, particularly where we have got potholes, we are going to ensure that there is no road in the province that is left unattended, particularly in terms of potholes, because we are quite aware that those are some of the causes of this kind of accidents.
And also, you also spoke, are you able to tell us, in this particular area, I heard you talked about a road that runs from Leeuwfontein to the Sabuswa area. There were various roads that you spoke about that will be getting upgrades, especially in this particular area surrounding this part of Sekhukhune.
Yes, for this financial year, we have already said that we are going to look at the road P51/3, from Groblersdal to Stoffberg, which we know that it's not in good condition. The road D2923 from Leeuwfontein to Siabuswa, D856 Leeuwfontein to Moloto, and R574 from Groblersdal to Morwaneng. We believe that those are some of the roads that need more attention from us, and we are definitely going to make sure that the allocated resources are going to take care of those roads.
Thank you so much, MEC, for talking to us. That was MEC Sekwati telling us about, the financial interventions that will be happening here, the allocations, money that will be going towards upgrading and improving, infrastructure here. But Lungis, let me step out of short and just give Llewellyn an opportunity just to show you where we are in this part of the programs. You'll see that these are taxis. Obviously, the taxi was also involved, or taxis were also involved in that particular crash. It seems like we're almost at the end of the program today. I see that there is a pastor on the podium as well. We're just going to there's going to be a singing now of a hymn, but the various families here that will, I think, be transported using these quantums, I think, to the various, the final point of where we're going to lay these bodies. 4 of them were going to the same cemetery and we'll be following that, but seemingly we have reached that end of, the end of today's program. It seems like we are at almost the last part of the program, where we are seeing, I think they'll have a sermon, and then after that sermon, people will then be making their way to, the cemetery. But also we spoke to the MEC of Education as well, Mxolisi, earlier on, where she was just telling us about the state of the other children at the school, and what is the report that she's getting? Are other children, are they coping? And she was saying that there has been psychosocial support that has been given to children as well, that those that remain behind, the friends of some of these little ones that have passed away as well, just saying that for parents, they are speaking to parents, also just appealing to some parents to not completely lose touch with the school. That was one of the things that she was saying. But in terms of schooling, it seems that everything, back to normal there in terms of children being able to receive an education.